Hi everyone! Today is really exciting because we're trailering to the show. The trailer is all packed and now I'm going out to get socks from her field. She is in a new pasture assignment, so that's why I'm going out back this time. We just finished packing the trailer and now all we have to do is load the horses. The barn hosting the show is Marley's Farm and the organization hosting is the Jorvik Hunter Foundation. When we got to Marley's farm, we met the farrier and he worked on socks and fixed her up because she threw a shoe the other day. The ring was open to school in, but the jumps were off limits this afternoon, so we just walked, trot, cantered, and toured around so Socks could get a chance to see everything before tomorrow. This morning, when I got to the show, Socks was already braided, and I took her out to graze so that she could have some time out of her stall. Then the ring was open again for schooling before the show started, and everyone was taking the chance to practice over the fences for the first time. We started with a warm-up trot jump, and we got some lines in and rollbacks since they'll be in a few of the courses we'll be doing today. Then the show started on schedule with the Green Division's flat class, followed by all of their jumping trips. Toward the end of the ponies, it was time to get Socks and myself cleaned up and ready to go. We all checked in with the starter, and then the regular division got underway. We had some time to warm our horses up before we got kicked out of the ring. I had already looked at what my courses were earlier this morning, but I went over them again to make sure I really knew where I was going. This is my first trip in the regular hunters. I started off with a courtesy circle and then we cantered to fence 1. I looked like I had no idea where I was going because I was really nervous and was forgetting the course already, even though I had just gotten into the ring. We had this weird turn from fence 5 to 6 that is also going to show up in the next course, which is the handy round. Overall, I was able to keep Socks slow but on pace throughout the whole course, and my last jump was the best distance I got. And then I did a courtesy circle at the end, and that was it. I ended up placing second in this class, which is great.
Now on course is Fox and Socks, ridden by...
This is my second hunter trip. It's a handy round, so we went right in and got a big canter to the first fence. Then we had to roll out of fence 2. I took the inside turn option. And then there was this super weird turn again to the trot jump at fence 3. And there were actually 2 different turn options. I ended up taking the right turn since it looked like there was more room. And then we had to bend out of fence... What? This course is a little confusing if you can't tell. After fence 3, we had to bend out to fence 4 on the diagonal. There was this required turn after fence 6. You had to go to the outside of fence 6, around, kind of loop whatever way to get to fence 7. We didn't want to kiss the fence, and then had a long ride to the last line. We got 3 strides in the line and then walked right out. No courtesy circle for this one. I ended up placing first in this class, which I'm really happy about. I forgot to record the third hunter trip, but I ended up blanking out on where I was going halfway through, so we got really wiggly to a few jumps because I was hesitating jumping, and thankfully I ended up taking socks to the correct jumps, but it just looked messier and we earned 4th in that class. I also forgot to record our under saddle, which is disappointing, but it wasn't super interesting. We just walked, trotted, and cantered both ways, and then ended up 2nd in that class. Overall, for the regular hunter division, we ended up reserve champion, which is super exciting for our first show. After our division, there was a long break so they could get ready for the derby later tonight. We were given our order of go and were able to look at the first course. And if you place in the top 12, you're invited back to round 2, which is the handy round. I'm set to ride 6th in the first round. And I'm not too worried about the first course. It's only 5 jumps, but there are a lot more people riding in this with multiple horses compared to the division that we were in earlier. The first horses had scores of 78, 78.5, 81, 75, and 77. And then it was our turn.
Next is Fox and Sock from Flowergarden in the JHF Derby for their first round.
For this course, we got a good pace going. The first jump came up great, then we took the long approach to fence 2, and then again we did the same thing for fence 3 where we went really deep into the corners. Then we had 2 single jumps at the end, which went okay. We took the lead with a score of 83, which guaranteed us a spot in the second round. A horse who went after us ended up scoring an 86, so we were in 2nd place after the first round. Then we had a break to learn the second round handy course we would be doing. It looked extremely challenging, and we were set to go in order of highest to lowest scores. The rider who received the highest score was up first, but unfortunately they ended up missing the last fence and were disqualified for going off course, which is heartbreaking after having such a great first round and being in the lead. Then it was our turn, and now there was a lot of pressure after the issues with the first horse's ride, and I didn't want to make the same mistake because it totally could have happened to me earlier and was happening to quite a few riders actually throughout the day. Since this was the handy round, I went straight to a bigger paced canter, and Socks took off galloping for a second there out of the gate, and I thought we were done for, but I don't think the judge saw what happened. The first jump was on a weird angle, and then I took the inside option to fence 2. Then we had a rollback to fence 3, and I took the inside option again to fence 4, where I had to get Socks collected up for the halt afterward. It took us 2 strides and a few steps to get halted. I waited 3 seconds, then their protocol to the last jump was a collected canter. The distance was good, and then we walked right out. I ended up scoring an 86, which put us into first place for now. We watched the rest of the riders go, and we ended up keeping our lead and winning the derby, which is super awesome. They announced everyone's places, and then we all had a victory lap in the dark, which was fun. That is the end of the show. We are going to get untacked and trailer back to the SEC. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing our first show. Thanks for watching. Bye!